Another year, another chance for the Western Mustangs to capture the Yates Cup. A win today would cement them as an OUA dynasty, winning 3 straight championships. The last team to do that, the 2000-03 McMaster Marauders. Their coach? Well, only the Mustangs' own Greg Marshall. I'm Ryan Ginnison of the Western Gazette.
I'm Varun Reddy.
Mine is Van Joshi.
It was just October 21st that Western and the Wilford Laurier Golden Hawks met here at Alumni Stadium, with the Mustangs winning 33-30. It certainly felt like to everyone that we'd see this matchup once again, and here we are.
Yeah, Ryan, looking back to that game in October, both teams coming in 7-0. People expected fireworks, and that's exactly what they got. But it was a bit of an odd game. The Mustangs took a 27-0 lead at halftime, but then Laurier comes out of nowhere to put up 28 to take a 1-point lead in just 10 minutes of game time. Western was able to clean that up in the end, get a much-needed touchdown, and only a self-imposed safety to Laurier to kind of finish out the game. But yeah, it was a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, and obviously we saw some pretty significant injuries on the Mustangs side. Quarterback Evan Hillick, he goes down in the fourth quarter there. Then Jerome Rancourt has to come out, finish the game for him. Now, he did play against Queens last week, and he was able to clean up a bit of his game. We also then saw Keon Edwards in the first quarter go down with a season-ending injury. And news even worse that since Keanu Yazbek, the second-string running back, also is down with the season-ending injury the week before.
Yeah, it's always the case with Western. It's that next man up mentality. With Edwards and Yazbek out, we're looking towards the third string in Troy Thompson and the fourth and fifth string with Ethan Dolby and Marcel Phillips as well to lead the game on the ground for Western in a run-by-committee format. And last week's game against Queens, the Mustangs went out with a heavy pass offense, and they were just throwing the ball. And the ground game eventually finished with 2 touchdowns and 154 passing yards, but that was only in the last quarter after Queens' defense was, running through some wear and tear.
And it will be interesting to see how the Mustangs kind of structure their offense for this game. Especially all season long, they've kind of been focusing on the pass a lot more than you would expect from a Mustangs offense to do so. Evan Hillick has been lights out all season long, 19 touchdowns, 2,439 yards. He's just been electric right now.
Just an incredible stat line, Ryan. And I think some of the credit has to go towards the Mustangs' electric wide receivers. Western has had 3 of the top 10 receivers in yards per game in the country, with Mohsen Jamal, Seth Robertson, and Siobhan Magna-Jones. Combined, they have 18 touchdowns this season, with Robertson having 8 of his own.
And as electric as Western's passing offense is, the Golden Hawks passing game is nothing to sleep on.
Yeah, right. I mean, with what we've been seeing from Laurier's quarterback, Taylor Elgersma, he leads the country in passing yards with 2,641 this year. Only 8 regular season games. He's put up 18 touchdowns, only thrown 4 interceptions, and you got to give credit to his receiving core with Eden Jordan and Raiden Thorne. They've been the thorn in the side of many defenses this year.
Right, and looking at the beginning of the season, I think a lot of people was ringing up the Western defense of that being the weakest part of their game. But as they've gone on, they've only gotten better. I think Greg Marshall said after last week's Queens game that was the best defensive performance they've had yet all season. And he said that against Laurier, he thought that besides that 10-minute slide they had in the third quarter, he thought they played really well against them.
Yeah, Ryan. The Mustangs intercepted Queens twice last week, had a forced fumble, recovered a fumble, led the way for Western to get their 8th straight appearance in the Yates Cup. So it's been fantastic.
Don't forget that the Mustangs defensive line had some troubles early in the year, but has really turned things on, putting up 2 sacks for a combined loss of 16 yards against their Golden Hawks last time.
As they always say, offense sells tickets, but defense wins championships. And looking at these teams, what's going to be the difference maker in this game?
For me, Ryan, it has to be the secondary. They're going to have to make Elgersma and the Golden Hawks receivers have the worst night of their lives at Western Alumni Stadium.
Surprisingly, we haven't even mentioned them yet, but I think Western special teams are going to have been great all season. I'm expecting Daniel Kubongo to have another solid game on kick returns. And obviously, don't forget punter A.J. Williamson and kicker Brian Garrity to come up clutch for Western, and they've been showing up all season long.
Kickoff is at 1 p.m. Signing off from Western Alumni Stadium, Mustangs Country, let's ride.